We start with education matters, and the government has released 18.6 billion Kenya shillings to public primary and secondary schools in the country. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha saying that all schools will receive their capitation by Friday this week. He has warned school heads against harassing learners who haven't paid school fees yet. Meanwhile, learners countrywide continue to stream back to their respective schools on the second day of school reopening, with the official Ministry of Education data showing that close to 90% of learners have reported back. Ksh18b tells us more.
On the second day of school reopening in the country, Professor Magoha left principals and school heads with something to smile about after he announced that the free primary and secondary capitation money will be in schools latest Friday this week. Of the 18.6 billion shillings released, primary schools have been allocated 4 billion, while secondary schools will receive 14.6 billion shillings.
Give it 1 or 2 days and the money should be available. My only warning is this, please use this money for what it is meant for, to where it is required.
And while several incidents of school heads introducing new levies to parents have been reported, the Education CS used the occasion to warn against harassing learners who have not paid school fees.
I've been told that children are being sent away because of development money. Please, if you have any detail of any teacher who is bold enough to return our children home because of development money, give us that information and we shall act very swiftly.
In Mombasa County, only 70% of the student population had reported back to school. At Serani Primary, for instance, 150 learners out of the 298 pupils in the school had reported by Tuesday. And as learning resumes amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, special schools faced unique challenges, especially due to having learners who in some cases failed to or cannot adhere to the Ministry of Health guidelines. At one such school, St. Patrick's Special School in Thika Town, fumigation of classes and almost every facility here is done occasionally to minimize any risk of spreading the virus. In Baringo County, the situation is dire. Below 10% of the population of learners as reported, with 5 schools in Tiati failing to reopen completely. At Cheptunoyo Primary School, boys in upper classes did not attend school, their absence attributed to ongoing circumcision rites, with others reportedly having opted to marry and start families. Not a single boy has reported in class 7 and 8, despite the upcoming KCPE exams.
Last year, July, I heard of several boys who attended Savannah ceremony, and among them were class 8 pupils who never turned up for their studies last term. One of the boys, I was told, got married. One girl was pregnant.
Data by the Ministry of Education this evening reveals that 90% of the learners in the country have reported back. Education Principal Secretary Dr. Beleo Kipsang says about 95% of learners in day schools have reported, while 80% of those in boarding schools are back. The return of learners is expected to rise to 100% by Friday. And on the second day of the full school reopening in the country, many schools now shift their focus into improving their facilities in the betterment of learning this term. Ksh18b, Citizen TV, at Lakewood School, Kitengela.